I'm trying something out. I made a border overlay, and I'm checking to see how it looks. Um, I think that I like it so far. I'd love to hear your opinions on it. Also, I'm trying out this new extension as well. So I got two things going on simultaneously. This stream elements thing is something that it's new to me. I had seen it there, and so I'm a little, I'm aware of it, but I didn't really know anything about it. And so I've started beginning to look into that a little bit. Haven't gotten very far. My initial goal with it was I was going to use it um, to make the border overlay. Like I was going to just use a border overlay that was available already, like a pre-made thing. And then I was like, you know what? I don't really like the ones that I see here. They're all just kind of generic a bit. And so I thought, I think I know pretty much how to do this. So I'll just give it a go and see what I can end up with. And I think that I like how that went. I'm not gonna say yet that I love it, but I think I like it. I want to see how it plays out as far as is any of this getting in the way. The only thing that I can see right now, just looking at it, that I don't appreciate is that it covers up the my level down there. That being said, it's not a huge deal. I can just tell you guys what level I'm on. You said that's easy peasy, right? But it's just something that I'm not a super fan of it. I would appreciate it if I could see what level I was, but I didn't. Obviously, I didn't think that through when putting this together. I feel like thus far it gives a little bit of I don't know, makes me feel like we're looking at this scene through like a wizard's looking glass or something. I mean, it's not a crystal ball, but the wizard in question is holding like a switch device or something. I don't know, magic mirror. I'm not sure. Gives me good vibes. That's all I know. I like it. But again, I don't know if it's perfect, but it's nice. That's my takeaway. But yeah, if you guys have any thoughts on it, be sure to let me know what you think of the border. I don't know, maybe some tweaks to it, but overall, I'm pretty much a fan. Now I've hopped on here, and I have been basically I've been clearing my bags this morning, and now I'm checking through to see if I want to upgrade any of these spells. I've been periodically trying to look into whether I want to toss some new upgrades on or not. So far this morning, I've not found anything that's been enticing. In fact, I haven't found any of the masters that I need on the broker at all. See, this chilling throw is garbage, right? It just doesn't do anything really for me because it requires that you have a thrown weapon equipped, and I'm not really a fan of the thrown weapons available pretty consistently. It's a really cool spell. I like what it does. It's just not worth it because, I mean, we're talking about one spell here, and it's not. I just don't think it's sufficient. I mean, even at the very low price that you can find it here, like this is 18 gold and 90 silver for one of these. It's a ridiculous price for a master at level 30, but it's just not. It's not good enough to be worth upgrading at all. Now, this Art Form of Finesse is excellent, but again, we're talking about a level 37 spell, something like that. Let me see here. Level 39. Okay, a level 39 spell, and they want 3 platinum for it. I understand why they would want that much for it, but I wouldn't understand me giving them that much for it, if that makes sense. Not at this point. Maybe later on, if I decide that I absolutely need to have Artful Finesse, then we can come back and reevaluate that situation. For now, I feel like I'm just not that interested in paying that kind of price for what we get out of it. However, I really probably ought to go over, I ought to go over to Elddar Grove over here and turn in some of these status point items. Status point items are like these guys right here. Steel Relic. Steel Relic is for the Fighters Guild. That's in North Qeynos, in front of Antonio Dale's castle. Tallow sealed documents go to the Scouts Guild in Elddar Grove. Jasper, or the Scrying Stones in general, go to the Mage Tower in South Qeynos, and then the Jasper Amulets, or all amulets, go to the Temple of Life in North Qeynos. So each of those give you personal status points, and also, if they're of the appropriate level, they give you status points and XP for your guild. If when you go to sell it, the status point price that you're getting for it is written in yellow, that means that your guild is higher level than that status point item, and you will not get status points and XP for your guild with those items. You will still continue to get the personal status points that it mentions there, which is very useful for getting things for your, quite a few things from the city merchants, but the things that I'm most interested in from them currently is getting the crafting tables for the homes. They're very expensive. For the crafting tables, you want to get the elaborate ones. There are other ones available on there, but there's not a lot of sense in investing in them because they won't make pristine items. If you are making something that doesn't matter so much, for instance, when tinkering comes into the game later on, then you can tinker any of those items on a workbench, and it will be no different than if you did it on a simple table, which only does 1 bar. Same goes for those quests that later come into the game to help you level up your tinkering and all of those things, transmuting, and etc. Tinkering. I've just run right by the Temple of Life. Anyway, because for those you only need to make the first bar, but really you're gonna want to get the elaborate ones overall, because that's gonna make the best quality and or number of items.
You've surpassed the ability of this humble caretaker's teachings. Seek out the disciple Temmerspell when you're ready to continue your teachings.
So, just to show you, see, Jasper Amulet, those are too low level, and so they're yellow, and that's because the guild is level 26. Jasper Amulet is a lower tiered status point item than the level of the guild. So that is how that works. Looks like there's an add-in coming in like 50 seconds, just to warn you guys who are not subscribers. Those who are subscribers, you won't even notice because you don't have to watch ads, which is super cool. I still think that it would be awesome if the Twitch had a thing where you could like buy your way out of the ads temporarily, like instead of having to pay for turbo or whatever, if you could just I don't know, pay some coins, like I don't know, some small amount to skip a particular ad because, you know, you're in the middle of watching something, you don't want to miss it, and you could take that moment to, you know, pay a small amount of, I'm not sure, bits or channel points or whatever to skip it. It would be cool. They didn't ask my opinion though, so, you know, here we are. I should pop back over here after I turn these in and turn in those collections that I have hanging out, ready to be turned in. I don't know how many I have right now that are ready. It may just be one. What a check, in fact. So I'm running along anyway. So to check your collections, you open up the quest journal, go to the collections tab, and then if you want to see what's ready, you can sort by ready. I have my completed ones hidden so that they're not going to get into it. So, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 collections are ready, including the Struck Ant collection, I'll point out. But also, Froglok Bone Fragment collection, Enchanted Maple Leaves collection, Abjuration Shards collection, Conjuration Shards collection, and Shiny Shards collection. This is fancy. A number of these are, well, they're all pretty much in my range of level. So, perfect things to turn in there. I was trying to think if I need anything else while I'm at this tower, because, you know, you end up having to come here for about 1 billion quests, and I don't think that I have any right now that I need to mess with, but I don't know, it's a tough one. Maybe. This is one of those city merchants I mentioned, so a lot of what you can get is just like decorative stuff and, you know, titles and things like that. But you can also get stuff that's more useful. But you see that these all use, I'll go back to it. These all use status points. They also have a gold requirement most of the time. But the main thing is the status points. Speaking of items, actually, I looked up that Tish Tickers thing. Oh, Algorithmish. Welcome. You'd like to see someone play the game? Cool. I am doing the game playing. But okay, so Tish Ticker's torch, right? We saw that yesterday, and I tried to see what kind of light it emits. You have all of the different options. I wasn't able to. Strangely, it doesn't show you by pressing Control and clicking it. It doesn't give you that that display of what you can look at. But I looked it up, and even though I can't tell the difference when I equip it, apparently the Torch of the Moon, which is one that I grabbed, emits a blue light. What I read also says that the Lantern of the Earth emits a white light. That seems very strange. You would think it would be kind of like a brown or an off brown, right? Because it's of the Earth. But apparently that one's white light. And I'm not sure how that actually differs from a regular torch, right? But the one of fire, as we had guessed, emits a red light. Grass is green. The moon, as I said, is blue. And, of course, sun is yellow. I think that the most strange one of those is the Earth being white. That's very... I don't know. I feel like that's a very unusual choice. So algorithm-ish, that's what you've got there. Man, I just read that entirely wrong the first time, but algorithm-ish. So do you, are you playing as well?
Hello.
Ironically, I do in fact have a quest in North Qeynos. It just wasn't in South Qeynos, so I'll go back. Oh, well. You ever have any interest in trying it out, or you just like to watch the others play it? A really old game. What's the really old game you play? You know, to be fair, EverQuest 2 is also a really old game. But when you say really old, I guess you mean even older? You like my playstyle? Well, fun. Okay, I see. That makes sense. Champion of Rednum. Dark Age of Camelot. So, let's see. Do you know when that came out? Because I've heard a lot about it, but I've never played it. I think there's quite a few people in EverQuest 2 who have played that. Because I've definitely heard it mentioned a number of times. I think the Tavern in Qeynos, yeah, there it is, right there. We talked to Lodo. This is for the Reaching Blade of the Assassin, which starts in Enchanted Lands. It's a heritage quest. DAOC 2001, Regnum 2002. Alright, so it's a couple of years before EverQuest 2 came out, but EverQuest 1 was definitely going along by then. That's cool. Yeah. Like I said, I've heard people talk about it, but I haven't played it myself. So this is a cool one, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually go through this curtain behind this dude, Bouncer to a Ball, and talk to him. He's just this.
People can adapt to any change in order to survive.
He's just this random guy standing there. You don't know anything about him. And then EQ2. Let's see. It was. Maybe. I'm not sure exactly when it came out. I want to say it was 2000. Don't. It was a long time ago. I know that I started. It was probably January, February of 2004, maybe when I started. Maybe 2000. Let me see. You know what? We'll find out. I did this not too long ago, and I've already forgotten. Because I started after it came out. So 7,783 days is how old my account is, right? So, if we take that and we divide that by 365, to find out how long I've been playing, we find that that's 21.32 years. So, 21 years ago would have been 2004, and then a third of a year less than that. So, let's see how, 4 months. What month is it? Okay, it's now November. I have to check. I don't even know what I'm doing. So actually, I guess I started in the summer. I really thought it was a different time, but I know it had been out for a while at that point. Yeah, Mr. Jelly, good job there. November 2004, but November would have been exactly 21 years ago, and that doesn't mesh because mine is 21 and a third of a year ago. So it would have been like, I don't know, what, July, something like that. I've seen you can buy an ABO for a month to play EQ2, but how many play that game really? How many play EverQuest 2? I don't know how many people are playing EverQuest 2 right now. I can say that it seems to be pretty active. I'm going to talk to Lodo real quick.
What's this? Who are you looking for? An assassin?
I say, yes, I'd heard one might have made his way out here.
Oh, I'm afraid not. Don't get that nasty sort out here. Bunch of them out by Freeport, I hear, though.
This one would have come here from Freeport.
There was a strange sort. Came into town for a couple of days. Bit on the shorter side.
Did he have brown hair?
Now that you mention it, I reckon so. Rather brutish chap. I'll give him that.
Did you see where he went?
Said he had some sort of business down in the crypt. Might try checking there.
Thanks. I'll see if I can catch him.
You see if you can do that. Don't like that sort around here, we don't.
Take care. Alright, so now, if you go, when you're on this step, into the Crypt of Betrayal and you reach a certain point, you get spawned on by a couple of assassins. The implication from the quest up to this point is that there's only one. But as I recall, there are two that spawn on you when you're down there without a whole lot in the way of warning. Now, algorithm, as far as that goes, you can play on live for free, to test it out and see what you think of it and all that. I personally don't play on live, but you can. And I think it's probably a good way to see if you're into the game, to check it out and, see if you like the play style and things like that. It's definitely a lot, it's a lot simpler, in many ways than the server that I play on. But I think it's a good introduction to the basics of how to play. So if you want to give it a shot sometime, you should be able to download the game for free from EverQuest2.com, and then you can make an account and you can make some characters. You won't have any of the expansions or anything like that, but that gets you up a long ways. I'm not sure what the current cap is for a free player. As far as you don't have any expansions or anything like that. I'm not sure how far that gets you, but I'm going to say quite a long ways. And certainly by the time you get up there, you ought to have some idea of if you're interested in the game or not. I would say that on live, the leveling is a lot faster. The ability to kill creatures is significantly improved over this. I'm going to use the word improved very loosely, because in my opinion, killing things easier is not necessarily an improvement. A little bit of a challenge is more interesting to me than going around and smashing something and it dies. That's not very exciting, but I know that some people like that, and I think that's kind of the experience in the early levels for sure on live. I mean, most people probably solo their way up on live for sure. But I don't know whether you'd consider that a good thing or a bad thing, but that's the way it is. I don't know that you'll find a lot of grouping at low levels on live. You might be able to. It'll be a little more difficult, but at least you can get an idea of the gameplay and whether you're interested. I personally like the questing, but there's different people like different things, different elements of the game for sure. And I mean, that's kind of the allure, particularly at the time period when this server is set, which is around 2007.
Well met.
It was definitely very open as far as what kind of gameplay you enjoyed. It's one of the things I really liked about it. You could choose to go adventuring, you could choose to just craft, you could choose to decorate houses, which the decorating of the houses really improves as the game goes on. I know that, you know, there were some people that I was very good friends with that was their whole thing. They just really loved decorating houses, and they would go decorate guild halls and things like that. And that's what they loved. So yeah, you can do that. Then there's just completionists who they just want to finish all the collections in the game, for instance. So, you know, you get all kinds of different players. I used to know one he called it playing hardcore, meaning that if his character died, then he would delete the character. And that was around this time period that I was playing with him, and he was a very good player. And I think that his play style improved his playing quite a bit. But he didn't get very high level. You know, I mean, he, got into his mid to high 20s with one, and I think that was the highest that I knew of them getting. Oh no, I don't play hardcore. No. I am not interested in deleting my my character, and I tell you what, I die all the time. But no, this fellow that I used to know, he played hardcore. But it's just a different play style and what people are into, you know? So I feel like there's a great degree of versatility at this stage of the game. You can do whatever floats your boat, you know? How many servers are active? Again, I can't tell you the answer to that. I know that this server is very active. I also know that Module, which is the live server that I played on, is very active. I don't know a lot about the other servers because I don't play on them. I think that Antonia Vale is still doing well, but again, it's been a while, and I really have primarily only paid attention to this one, which is an Origins server called Anashti Sul, and then I know, that Module is still doing very well. Oh, you want to know how many total servers there are on EverQuest 2? Let's see. I will look it up. And I'll tell you. You don't want to know about the past servers, though. You want to know about the current ones. Looks like we've got Antonia Vale, Halls of Fate, Mars, Lewis, Skyfire, Thurgoden. I see some that are Isle of Refuge, which is the free trade. I don't know if that is that still active? Does anybody know? Kael'Drakel, Varsoon. Varsoon's a progression one. Zeracon was an event server. Is that still going? I'm not sure. Anashti Sul is Origins. So on this list, it's showing $12, but that's including test and beta, so 10 beyond those. And probably the easiest way to find out is when you're starting to make a character, it'll give you a list of possible services to choose from. But you know what? I didn't see, so Origins, it just showed as one, like Anashti Sul, but I didn't see Dozakar on there, which is the PvP version of the Origins server.
I greet you.
Yeah, I made a character not too long ago, and so I could have seen how many servers, but I really didn't pay attention because I knew that I was going to be making it on this server, and I just didn't notice what all else there was available when I made it. Where am I questing today? Well, I was thinking that right now I was going to head out and do a little bit of gathering in Enchanted Lands. You got something in mind? I know that my guildies have been kind of blowing through the Fey Iron in the depot, so I thought, well, I could go do a little restocking. I do see that I need to turn into Taskmaster Delving over here. I also failed to turn into the collection guy that I did anything to turn into, but that's okay. Doing the journey is the journey is half the fun. Yeah, have fun with that. But the thing is with that, you can't wear those boots until like level, what is it? Is it level 40 boots? Something like that, right? Alright, Taskmaster Deltrin says, I expected you a bit sooner, but at least you have everything on the contract. The Far Seas Trading Company values not only quantity, but timeliness as well. Please remember this. Here's your payment. Now, I'm willing to offer you another contract, as long as you complete it in a timely manner. And I say, I'll take it. He says, this contract is very similar to the last one, save for the fact that it's more dangerous. Now that I've given you the caveat, are you still interested? I say, danger doesn't scare me. I'll take it. And there we are. Level 42. I only just finished the Dwarven Boots. Can't finish this until 30 though. Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's like, how much, I mean, the boots are super cool because, you know, that run speed and all that, but if you can't put them on, you can't put them on, you know? Deldrin says, this contract requires you to find out why the gatehouse brew made at the bridge is so highly sought after. Bring me a pint of that ale. Once you find it, stir up a commotion between the centaur peoples. Kill a number of their religious leaders. When you're done, bring me the pint of ale. I say, no problem. I don't know about this guy, you know? He wants me to go stir up trouble among the centaurs. What would the centaurs ever do to him, you know? Man, these Far Seas folks are a little bit sketchy sometimes. I always tend to put off the journey as half the fun because it's like, not only can you not use it until level 42, it's also just, I don't know, all the running around and like, where am I going? Oh yeah, I was gonna go. Speaking of running around, but I'm actually gonna go grab this brew real quick. But also it's just such a hassle. Why is there a Highland matriarch out here? That is very unusual. You, sir, or ma'am, in this case, are completely out of your element right now. That is so strange. Alright. You've been suitably surprised. Running through the Dead River Basin, and there's the Highland matriarch just standing there. Oh, I wonder if a coercer, let's see what this guy is. He's running along with the dirge. Okay, he's not the culprit. But I wonder if a coercer had that Highland matriarch as their pet and died out here. Where am I going? Man. Alright, so now we need a pint of gatehouse brew from the gatehouse on the bridge. Now, of course, there's not a gatehouse on the bridge, but we've got a gatehouse beside the bridge. And we've got a handy dandy barrel right here. Find a small barrel with its top slightly ajar. We're going to look in the barrel. And look at that, a quest to kill Amazon huntresses. Looking inside the barrel, you find a large horseshoe with a scroll attached to it that reads, "This horseshoe belonged to the Amazon huntress that attacked my family caravan on the trip to Windstock Village. That is all that I have left of that terrible day. Yorn Stormhoop. The Amazon huntresses should be destroyed. So I say, I will slay them." Alright. Now, we've got this keg sitting on the table. That updates me, and it's going to want me to kill Amazon abbots. But not right now. Right now, the mission is to go gather. Someone in channel is asking where do I go to reset AAs in Qeynos, and they were responded to with South Qeynos, Mage Tower, Red Portal. Very helpful information. I think it's very cheap to change your AA like this, but like it costs a little bit of silver. I don't think it's too bad. I remember it used to be, I feel like it used to be a lot more than it is on the server. And I don't know when they, when that changed. I know that when AA first came out in the game, I never paid to change my settings. Later on, they have a magic mirror so that you can have a couple of different things going on. But I don't remember when that came into play. Certainly not by now. But anyway, if you want to change your AA settings and you're in Qeynos, Red Portal at the Mage Tower is the way to go to do that. And let's not forget to check at the mender and see if I need to mend any of this stuff, which I do, as usual. So which step are you on, Miss Jelly? Which zone are you running at the moment with the journey? Oh, Zach. Yeah, that's fun. Alright, now I've been putting off turning in this quest, Deputy Nettlebrand over here, because I know that it's going to open up more quests, and I've been avoiding getting the quests in any of the higher zones than the ones I've been working in. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. So, we'll see what Deputy Nettlebrand has to say.
Hello.
He says, "How can I help you?" And I say, "Is there some place I can learn more about the Enchanted Lands?" He says, "Don't I wish? I've been trying to get a museum built to honor our fallen and tell folks the history of our beloved old Misty Thicket in Riverdale. Say, you don't have time to help me out instead, do you?" And I say, "I suppose I can help." He says, "Terrific. You see, I'm trying to gather up some of the artifacts from the old days. The wagon I'd been storing the items in was smashed to bits, and those mischievous fairies and sirens conspired to get all my artifacts. I've been able to get most of them, but there's still a few missing. Could you look around and get them back for me?" And I say, "I'll see what I can do. But I won't see what I can do right now. Maybe some other time." You know what I'm saying? Then I run into a rock. Because, it's the next part, yes. Ooh, this doesn't look good. Okay, he's alright. He's out.
Your eyes are so
Maybe he's
pretty.
alright. go make sure. It's okay. Okay, all is well. I had doubts for a second. I was like, how's that power though? But nah, it's good. Switch over to the old harvesting view. And then, for those who haven't seen it, I made this cool little hotbar over here. And I have my crafting abilities on there. And I also have my harvesting tools on there, making it super easy to switch what I'm using to harvest with. And if you don't know about harvesting tools are phenomenal. These ones are the briarwood ones. Hold on a second here, I'll show you. Reduces the harvest time for gathering by 1 second. Now that's every single time that you go down to gather, you're spending 1 less. So if you're harvesting an entire node and you get every harvest on the first time, then you have now decreased the amount of time that you spent harvesting that node by 3 seconds. It's extremely, the gain here in time, or the lessening of the loss of time, I guess I should say, is incredible. The fishing goes extremely fast. Let me see if I can find a mob of fish to show you this real quick. There's one over there. Throng of fish. Frog would be a whole new thing. Throng of fish. Let's go over there and just show you how quick it is to fish using this fishing rod. And this isn't the highest level gathering tool, of course, for the server. It's just, but check that out. And moving on. Cooking with Crisco and all that. But all of the gathering tools improve your gathering rate by a good bit. I am going to turn off my flora on here. I intended to do it previously. Advanced settings will help you build things. Now, see, that opens up a whole new world. You can actually see things like the natural brightness, the wretched diver, and most importantly, perhaps, the shinies. So, increases my satisfaction tremendously to turn off flora. I had changed my settings a little bit the other day because there was some issues going on with the upload speed, and it turns out it was an internet-related issue, but I had initially thought maybe the graphics were too high. So I had turned them down and turned them back up later when I found out that was going to be the issue, but I didn't. Normally I customize them after I turn them. It changed it all. I'll go and customize them. And I didn't do that. And so I had not turned off the flora as a result. But now we're all good. I prefer it like this because it's just so much easier to see what's going on in general. If you go to common lands, the differences particularly start because when you don't have the flora on, it's like a desert, basically. When you do have the flora on, it's like you're on the plains in the same part that is otherwise a desert. Or in one particular area of that. There's tall grass. And for short gnomes like Bernanke, it's a rough time going through that tall grass. A lot easier to just turn off that grass. It would be nice to have that button in real life sometimes, like you're traversing difficult terrain. And you could just go, hold on, let me change my settings real quick, Press a button, and then boom. No longer an issue. Sadly, that is not the way of it. I think that I do like this new border that I have on there. So far, I don't feel like it's gotten in the way of anything. The only thing that it has is just the level, right? I can't see on that screen what level Copernic he is. I wonder if there's a way to make this smaller. I don't think you can make it small enough to minimize it. No help. That is not useful. It actually makes the other part, it makes this part bigger, but the other part smaller as the minimization. No sense in doing that. Let's see here. Can do this, and maybe it'll help. Bringing this a little more over. Actually, it doesn't need to be that far. And maybe you guys can see the level that way. Yeah, that's alright. Alright, let me know how that looks. Because that was the only issue that I noticed, was that you wouldn't be able to see my level. And while that's not overly important, it might be fun. You might want to know. And I know that I've been asked what level the character is on here, so maybe it'll be good to have it like that. When you're gathering over here, you'll notice that for the most part, things are not agile. But there are a couple of dudes with these little very mischievous maidens who are agile. There aren't very many of them, but there are some of them, and there are also these beetles. So you want to watch out for the beetles. I'll show you where I am on the map, right here in this area. So you want to kind of watch out for this. And see, I'm already convincing myself to get another quest. I'm like, oh, this one's just running around. I'll grab this. Man, you know what? It's a slippery slope, guys. Here we are. All right, so I'm going to get this. This sign appears to be a dilapidated map of the surrounding territory. There are a number of images that appear interesting to visit. And I'm going to say, mark down the locations to visit. I managed to jot down clues from the dilapidated map in hopes of discovering the locations. And then I leave the trail guide. And now there are various places that I can go and get updates for this quest. You know, it's one of those deals. It's the beginning of the end for me, really. I've begun the process of filling my journal up with quests that are not an area that I was trying to complete. It's a sad day, but it is what it is. And let's just accept the harsh truth that in the meanwhile, I will convince myself that I'm just going to gather my way over toward these things and get this quest done as I go. I don't want that page because I already have it. If I were hunting the pages, trying to finish that collection right now, though, I would go ahead and pick it up, even though it's no trade, because there's nobody else around here right now, and so nobody's going to grab it. And if nobody grabs it, that means it's not going to respawn. So, it needs to respawn if you're going to try to finish it. The Ring of Stones appears to have once been a place of worship. Decades of neglect caused the ring to fall into ruin. Alright, so now we just got our Fey Isle update from coming over here. That is, I believe, the only AA point as well on this area. Negative 59 to speed, it says standard read. He's getting negative 59 to speed. I see. He apparently is carrying some storage boxes and was unaware that storage boxes on this have weight. That's when. Let's see here. Get a little more of this harvesting underway. I just got the update for Bobit. Ah, I failed to put on my saw. It's a shame. I do definitely recommend the hotbar. Getting that update is, or not update, but upgrade, I would say, in your harvesting, the amount of time that it takes to harvest, is extremely beneficial, and being able to just click a button over on the hotbar is much easier than having to open up your bags and equip it that way. So less on the easy and more on the quick, actually. Now in here, there can be a named fish. Yes, Chomper. Chomper's Pond is the name of this, because Chomper is a huge fish that spawns in there, and he's for a quest. That, it's a heritage quest, so you'll probably end up doing that one, and you'll need to go in there to deal with Chomper. We'll just ignore that rude little goblin who doesn't want me in his area. Now those gazers up there, the little eyeball that you can see quite a long ways. The goblins, they can see decently far, but those gazers can see, the evil eyes, they can see a good little ways. So watch out for those guys. Notice I wasn't particularly close to those goblins, but they aggroed on me less. haven't gotten too far in my mission to get more face steel, but and by that I don't think that I have any yet. That's alright. Who needs it? Just here for the funsies. That's another of these trail guides. Honestly, I may as well pick it up. So I guess I'll go back and do that. The seed of darkness is upon me. Ah, it slowed me down. Heavens to Betsy. Little feign death did the trick. Of course, those detriments are still on me, but we don't care about that. Alright, so this is Bootstrutter's Trail Guide to Farshire. This sign appears to be a dilapidated map of the surrounding territory. There are a number of images that appear interesting to visit. And I say, mark down the locations to visit. And it says you managed to jot down clues from the dilapidated map in hopes of discovering clue locations. And I say, move the trail guide. Back to our regularly scheduled program, gathering. Alright, so looks like we need to go to Shortline Burrow. Alright, let's see. We have Shortline Burrow, Berrybrook Field, Lookout Stump, Sarid Sanctum, Misty Mine, and Honey Bugger Burrow. As well as the ones we already had, which were the Guppy, Bumbleful, and Patch, the Goblin Ward, and Rivergate Cascade. So, should be able to just kind of wander around and get those as we are gathering. If all goes well. When you are gathering over in this area, okay, see where I'm at right here? There's a good number of things you can gather here. And the only thing you really have to watch out for is the bats that fly around. So keep that in mind. They are up in the air and aggro. And it's just like any of the other areas where you gather here. And you have bats flying around. You do have to be somewhat observant of what's going on around you, but it's not that difficult. And there's always a little bit to gather in this area because nobody comes here to grab the stuff. I'm going to try the Scrying Stone. It is working. So we got soft blue, bright red, and soft red. What kind of goodies do we get today? Nothing interesting. Let's try again. It doesn't work yet, so we move a tiny step. We got soft blue, brilliant white, and dim red. Nothing interesting. Try again. Bright red, brilliant green, soft red.
Your blood.
Oh, this very close. Alright, let's give that another shot. Looks like I need to get some more of these. Down to brilliant green, soft green, and brilliant red. Oh, got a chest this time at least. It's a damage turn. I don't think I really care for a damage turn, so I'll just get another Scrying Stone and another chance to get one of those books. Brilliant blue, brilliant green, and soft blue. Which garners us a book. Exactly what we want. Now, the question is, which of these do I already have, and which ones do I not have? So we'll run a search real quick. Just type in apprentice. And what we need to know is, do we have an apprentice marshal's greater training tome? I think we do. But no. Looks like I'm wrong. We only have lesser training tomes. So, let's grab that sucker. And so now the lights are still here, but sometimes they just don't go again. I don't know. It's always been this way. Normally, you can continue using them until the lights disappear. But sometimes it's like this, you know? That's what it is. I'm in EL. I am in EL, baby. Kind of wandering around gathering and doing a little bit of the Bootstrutter's quests. How about you? What are you up to today? See, I could follow you until you said GLS. Is that GLS? What does it mean? Oh, Greater Lightstone. I don't think I have Greater Lightstone on. Oh, you mean this? The Scrying Stone that I was using? No, these are from, you can get them either at Thundering Steps or at Neck Forest. You get the quest to use the Greater Light, or the Scrying Stones, from a girl named Tish Tickers in Thundering Steps. And, yeah. My light source. So let's see, the one that I have on is just the default light source, like your personal torch. But I actually, yeah, that would be the personal torch. That's in your settings. If you go to your options and you go to the advanced, which is, you click this button up here that currently says basic, but it would say advanced. And then you go to lighting, and you see this button here that says personal torch. And as long as you have that clicked, you can have a little source of light around you. I do have a torch that I just got, though. It's yesterday, I believe I picked it up. Tish Ticker's, here it is. Tish Ticker's Tinkered Lantern of the Moon. And that is supposed to give off a blue light for the moon. But I can't really tell any difference personally. I could put it on and show you after I get out of this fight real quick. Let me run away from a bear. But the problem is that if you have a torch equipped, then you're taking up that inventory slot. In which case, right now, it's just my briarwood harvesting tools. But okay, here you go. Here's the difference. Oh, okay. I do see the blue now. All right. When I tried it out yesterday, I was in Thundering Steps, and I couldn't really tell. But here, yeah, that's a pretty big change, I would say, in my personal light. That's interesting. All right, so that's Tish Ticker's Lantern of the Moon. You can also get Lantern of the Earth, or the Grass, or the Sun. So the Sun is white, I believe. No, the Earth is white. Sun is yellow. Grass is green. Moon is blue. There's another one called, like, Flame or Fire. and that's red. And it is... Oh, whoa. Apparently my auto mod deleted something. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't know how to restore something that gets deleted by the thing, but it says, Davey said, yeah, in EQ1 they have light stones that drop off wisps in common areas, and greater ones drop as well, which are bright and cover big area. Yeah, that is cool. I have no idea why the moderator bot thing deleted that. But here we are. Oh. Commercial. I see, yeah. Yeah, I see. Ad break ends in 52 seconds. Let's see here. I'm respond to him in here because he can't hear me. There we go. Now, with all that, I failed to put on my harvesting saw. What was I thinking? This is another area where you have to watch out for bats. You see, they fly around all over the place, and they randomly... Yeah, it's actually not random. But you do have to pay a little bit of attention to where they are. I'm going to go ahead and run over across this bridge to the Rivervale entrance. It's right over here. This lazy drain that we're crossing over. And I just want to get over to the door and show you guys this. If you're going to go into Rivervale, this is the way to do it. You go right over here, and there's the entrance. It's across this bridge over the lazy drain. Let's see here. Looks like the ad ended from my side. But yeah, it for some reason deleted your message there, Davey. Or it says it was deleted by a moderator, which is... I don't know, they have these bots in Twitch that I think it's supposed to prevent, I think, bad language and things like that. But it seems sometimes that it gets a little bit overzealous and deletes random things. So, like, I have no idea what it thought you were saying that was bad there, because there's nothing wrong with any of that. But I've seen it do that before. It's obviously keying in on things that are pretty innocuous. Yeah, no idea. Can't even imagine anything. Now there's another quest over there. I'm going to steadfastly ignore that quest. I'm going to pretend that it doesn't even exist at this point. Alright, a page that I actually need. How amazing. Now, guys, I put a border on the stream this morning, and I think that I like it pretty well. I was saying earlier, I think that I've adjusted the experience bar so that you can see my level and everything, which was the part that I considered most disturbing, was that you guys couldn't keep an eye on that. But I think that adjusting it a little smaller makes it more visible, and I could even pull it in a little bit more so that you guys could see more of it. Let me see. I don't know if it's necessary. But I'll do it and see what it looks like here. Sir Tatters also has a quest that I deeply want to grab, but I've managed thus far to avoid it. I think there's probably enough room in that area for me to put the entire XP bar. Yeah, there we go. Now it's visible, I think. To get it to that screen where you can manipulate the sizes of the different windows easily and move them around, you just press F10. And if you press it once, then it goes to this screen so that you can do that. If you press it again, then it erases all of the things. So if you wanted to take a picture, for instance, like a screenshot, and you didn't want all of the things like that around, you could just press F10 twice and be able to take a nice picture without any hotbars and things all over the place. Wow, this is log heaven. If you wanted some wood, this is the spot. I'm not really interested in the severed briar wood myself, but there are some woodworkers and carpenters in the guild who will be perfectly satisfied to use it up, I'm sure. It's kind of interesting because you end up having to gather the roots and the roots and metal mostly, because people burn through that pretty fast. Every class uses the roots to some degree, and the metal is almost as bad, and so you end up not having enough to go around. And so if you're gathering everything in an area, making it all repop, then you end up having a lot more roots and metal depleted than all of your other things. And so you get like tons and tons of like this kind of thing, green tea leaves and stuff. It's not as bad with the bushes in some degree because it gives you such wide variety of different types of returns. But even so, it's pretty rough. And it fills up the those sections of harvested stuff quicker. Partially because it's not used as much, but also partially because people often come through and cherry pick what they're gathering. And so, if you are gathering everything that there is, then you're going to get the remains, which is basically going to be wood and bushes. So it's kind of a multifaceted issue. Now over here, you gotta watch out for these feral lashers. They don't see especially far, but when they see you, they chase you a long way, and they wander around. So you gotta kind of pay attention to their pathing, so you don't get caught. I was looking into how to make some badges, and I think I may have figured out how to make some custom badges. I'm going to try to experiment with that later and see if I can. I would like to make some that rewards people who chat, and I would like to make some different ones that reward people who are helpful in some way, like giving information about, some quest that I'm working on, or, about the Twitch things or something like that. So I think that would be pretty cool. I figured out how to make moderators the other day, so that was a new thing. Making a little progress every day, and certainly it's a learning experience. And just kind of picking it up as I go along. So it's been interesting overall. There's Lookout Stump, by the way. That is an update for one of these quests. It's the Bootstriders Get Field Guide that I picked up over there to the east of the docks. This Seed of Obscurity is unhappy about me being in its area. I think I'm going to just ignore it for the most part, because I don't think that it's going to matter, and if nothing else, I might be able to get my focus up a little bit while it beats on me as I harvest. And since I'm in no real great hurry on this harvesting thing, it doesn't really. Now, it would be annoying if I had entered into combat with it, because then I wouldn't be able to switch out my harvesting gear. But since I didn't, it's no big deal. The only thing that is somewhat annoying is that it's slowing me down. It's almost worthwhile to kill it just for that. And now I've been almost certainly spotted by that. Yeah, Roche Slasher. That's a pain. Here, you know what? Let's just feign it off. Make life a little easier. I do like the Feign Death ability. It's very helpful. Of course, I think everybody likes the Feign Death ability, right? You never heard anybody like, oh man, I just hate that Feign Death stuff. With this character, it's an AA choice. Let's see here. To go down. Maybe I can click buttons good. Should go down this intelligence line, and it's the last thing on there. He stunned me for a whole minute there. This is Bumblethorn Patch over there by Sir Tatters. Gotten a couple of rares, I feel like, since we've been out today. Nothing to write home to Mom about, but a little bit. I think it's a couple of oak crate. Yeah. And then, of course, the oak root. Sometimes I would rather get the roots than the rare root. Man, I'm going to have to run this guy off. Didn't really want to, but alas, here we are. Now we're back over near the docks at this point. Should have shown you on the map where Bramble. Okay, there we are. It is 10:49 here right now, so just to warn you, I have less than an hour left before I'll have to go get some stuff done. It'll be not too long, probably, before I get back afterward, but it's probably going to be like 45 minutes before I have to go do that. Oh, I just saw that an ad break started, so I was not in time to warn you guys that it was going to happen. And now, I suppose, I'm talking to the people who are unaffected by said ad break. So, cool. That doesn't do you any good to know about it, I suppose. Now, Mr. Jelly, I think I just saw you logging out of one of your characters. What are you up to? You must have finished the boots run you were doing there. Looks like I got another page blowing in the wind over here, so I'll come grab this before I go and harvest that. Man, pages everywhere. Pages abound. Oh no. Something is hitting me. Ah, yes, just an impaler wasp. No bueno. Suppose I will run away from it. And feign death. Unruly Impaler. Impaler Wasp. So my feign lasts for 30 seconds. And then it'll pop me up again. See here. Interestingly, this fellow kindly healed me. So I need to thank him. Very kind of him. That was Homeboy. Good morning, Quad. How you doing? I've just been out here doing a bit of harvesting for the most part. Some slight amount of questing, but not a lot right now. Just kind of, I've got the Blue Strutter's Trail Guides. Cooking up breakfast for the family, then home to relax. That sounds like a good plan overall. And food is also a good thought. I haven't done the eating thing yet today, but I'm in no big hurry. It is now 10:53 a.m. over here. And, you know, breakfast is overrated anyway. I normally eat something that kind of combines breakfast and lunch, and I mostly don't eat right when I wake up or anytime very soon after I wake up. Mexican food. Oh, you're in South Texas. Well, hey, I'm in Texas as well. Not in the South part of it, but yeah. So here's the question. Is it traditional Mexican food or is it Tex-Mex? You said you're in South Texas, so it probably leans toward traditional, but you never know. You're a morning person, body's ready to eat early. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people do that. They wake up and eat breakfast. I don't know that I'm a morning person or a night person, maybe specifically. Oh yeah, I know where McAllen is, absolutely. Been a long while since I was down there, though. Oh, absolutely. Different strokes for different folks. Absolutely correct. Yeah, it's just, I think, you know, I'm just not really hungry. I don't get hungry a lot, actually, at all. But I think I normally wake up and just, you know, I'm pretty satisfied with life in general upon waking. I just get up and start doing things, really. And, you know, I don't really have any waking up, you know, things that I have to go take care of. Really. So it's nice. But I know that, yeah, a lot of people, they wake up and they're ready to eat, you know, which makes a lot of sense because, you know, you haven't eaten in so long. Even if you ate right before bed, which maybe you did and maybe you didn't. It's still been a number of hours. So yeah, it makes perfect sense that you'd be hungry. So what kind of Mexican food you getting? Getting some carne asada? I was recently told by a doctor that I should avoid gluten for like 6 months to see if it solves an issue that I have with anemia. I've had anemia my whole life, and he told me that apparently recently they've discovered that there's a connection between basically gluten sensitivity and the kind of anemia that I have, which is iron deficiency anemia. But it's chronic. It's not just a situation where it's just been constant. Uh, so anyway, I'm having to avoid gluten is the bottom line, and I'm like 1 month in. So I guess 5 months from now, I'll find out if that was the issue or not. And then we'll either be able to eat gluten once more if it wasn't a problem, or I guess avoid it forever. So it unfortunately has limited my ability to eat many things, and a lot of Mexican food ends up having flour in it in one way or another, which is a shame. We do good with a routine quart of water, coffee, protein, and salsa, or a smoothie. Well, that doesn't sound like Mexican food at all. You can get the protein part. Grill steaks a lot. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that I would often lean toward because, of course, red meat is one of the greatest sources of the type of iron that's needed. There's a couple different types, heme and non-heme iron. Yes, and okay, so the thing is, yes, I agree that the beans and iron pills, but the trouble is that the type of iron that you can get from vegetables is not easily digested by humans, and so to make it a little more digestible, you can take vitamin C or like take your pills if you're taking iron supplements with like orange juice or something like that to make it a little bit more digestible. And that helps certainly. But one of the best sources is red meat and of course liver. So yeah, but if you're doing like black beans, for instance, you do need to have some sort of vitamin C along with that. And same like people talk about spinach having a lot of iron. Well, yes and no. I mean, it doesn't have as much excessive iron as you might think. And so you want to put something with it, like with the beans, you can put, peppers. Obviously, peppers are good for that. But yeah, anyway, as an aside, but yes, definitely steaks and, ground beef, things like that. Chicken is acceptable, but it doesn't actually have as much iron as beef does. run back into the same area and gotten attacked by the same wasp. You'd think I would learn, but nah, I'm not into that. Gonna see if I can go ahead and get this natural garden in spite of the very excitable wasp. Include mild salsa for vitamin C. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever had Julio's salsa, but in my opinion, Julio's salsa is like the best salsa that you can get from the store. And of course, yeah, you got the tomatoes and the peppers. And so, yeah, sure, absolutely put that with whatever you're eating, pretty much, and that'll be sufficient for absorbing the kind of iron that you get from vegetables. Yeah, I have no problem at all with fruits and vegetables. I like all kinds of things. I say that, but then also people tell me that I'm terribly picky. I guess I am, but it feels like I definitely eat a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. I just don't like certain things that a lot of people do like, and so that makes them go, I'm such a picky eater. Well, okay, I don't like onions, right? And I know that that's an issue for some people. They love onions. I think onions are kind of a I don't know. Pretty much, I don't like them at all. I can survive them, being in something if they're like extremely well cooked, or if it's like onion powder. I don't mind onion powder as long as it's not overdone. But I definitely do not enjoy, especially raw onions. Raw onions are just absolutely abysmal. Like, that's something that can ruin food faster than anything, pretty much anything. But it's a big point of contention when you say that you don't like onions, and then you've got these people who are like, oh no, I just don't even know how to cook without onions, and so that's a difficulty. But yeah, I don't like onions, and I don't like mushrooms. That's another thing that, it's kind of a lot of people really like mushrooms, and I really, really don't like mushrooms. Now, they're not as bad as onions because you can pick mushrooms out of your food, and your food isn't ruined. You can't pick onions out without your food still being ruined. You can pick them out, and then you don't bite into them, but you bite the things that they touched. And when you do, you get that terrible flavor of onion. And it's hardly even any better. The only difference is you're not biting into it, but it's permeated everything. The only thing that's, well, I feel like the only thing that's as bad as an onion as far as that goes is cucumber. Because a cucumber will like, I don't know, it's like anything it's near is tainted, right? So, I don't know, it's a rough deal. A root beer. It's another unpopular opinion of mine. I hate root beer. It's not the taste exactly. It's the aftertaste, and it's just, it's like, this is not something that a human should consume, is the feeling of it. You see that I got an ad starting in 47 seconds, but, wouldn't want you to miss out on this important conversation regarding root beer. But seriously, root beer is so rough, so it's not as much that I dislike a lot of different foods. It's just that the foods that I dislike are very commonly loved by people. What aftertaste are we talking about? The aftertaste of root beer. It's like let's see. I don't really know how to describe it. I don't think that everyone experiences it, or at least they certainly don't experience it in the way that I do, because it's rough. Every kind of root beer has it, I can tell you that. I've tried a lot of different kinds because people find out I don't like root beer and then they go, oh, well, you just haven't had the right kind, right? And yeah, black licorice, yeah, absolutely. Anise. Yeah, no, I hate black licorice. It's inedible. So yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. It's not exactly, I don't know, it's difficult to describe, but terrible, absolutely. And I've tried it, like people were like, oh, well, have you ever had a root beer float? And what does they say? Basically it's a frozen mug. So A&W does this thing where they give you root beer from the tap and it's in this frozen mug and everybody raves about it. And I've had it. And it's just like, that's still terrible. Like, I don't, it's just not better. And then there's people who are like, oh, I only drink A&W. And then others are like, no, I don't like A&W. I only do Barks. And I'm sitting here going, they're both just as bad as each other. They're equally horrible. You'll handle all the root beer. Well, you know what? I tell you what, you'd be absolutely welcome to it because even a drop of root beer, literally a drop, will ruin an entire drink. It's insane. All right, ads, yeah. I get you. But yeah, I just can't handle the root beer. It's rough. Let's see here. Top something in chat here real quick to finish that. But yeah, that's an unpopular opinion that I have. It's I've got some particular kind of taste buds. I'm one of those people who's not a big fan of cilantro. I know that was a topic that was coming up at one point. They were saying like certain people taste cilantro like it tastes like soap to them. I don't know that it tastes like soap to me. I don't know that I would go that far that, oh, welcome back, Quad. But it certainly doesn't taste good. I don't spend a lot of my time eating soap, so I don't have that kind of association. I would imagine that different soaps taste different, but whether you call it tasting like soap or and how do I land on this cilantro? That's what I was just talking about. I don't find that I necessarily associate it with soap, but I don't like it. It's if you put a little bit, then that's okay. I can eat it. But if you put very much, I'm pretty much out. Yeah, I realized that was like a topic that was pretty popular a few years ago. The cilantro, taste bud difference for certain people, and if you have certain genes, then you taste it differently. Well, right, yeah. You said there are some people that legitimately their tongues are not built for cilantro. Sure, yeah. I think that would be me too. Definitely not a fan of the cilantro. Like I said, a little bit is acceptable. It's okay, but it doesn't take too much before I'm like, yeah, ass. The mushroom thing, I cannot understand. Some things at least I can say, well, I could understand how someone might like this, right? But not mushrooms. I cannot comprehend how anyone would like it. If you knew what it tasted like to me, guarantee you wouldn't like it. Similar to myself with black licorice flavor. I like root beer, but black licorice is a bit much for me. Black licorice is quite bad. As a child, and of course this was in the 80s, so black licorice was fairly abundant. And, you know, I remember getting that. And it was just before, like, Twizzlers got big. And so it was not, you know, it was not that, what they call black licorice, which is still bad. But it was just like, and you know what? They also used to have like the dum-dums that would be licorice. And I don't know that they have those anymore, the suckers that are licorice flavored. I'm not sure, but at the time it was fairly common to have that kind of thing. And, you know, you would not pay attention necessarily as a small child, I would not, to what exactly kind of sucker I was about to stick into my mouth. And so occasionally I would have the great displeasure of it being black licorice. Man, it's terrible. Yeah, they still have dum-dums. But I don't know that they have the licorice flavored dum-dums anymore. I haven't seen them. I don't go around eating suckers at this point in my life, but my kids certainly have in the past. They're not big sucker eaters either, but you know, you run across it, especially at like, you know, Halloween and things like that. And it's just most of the dum-dum flavors are perfectly fine, nothing wrong with them. But black licorice and root beer, you'd hit those two. And with the root beer, you never knew if it was going to be root beer or cream soda. There's a little bit of a color difference there. But as a child, many times I would mistake the two. And it's a real shame when you do that, because cream soda is fine, not a problem. But root beer is, I mean, just one lick of it is killer. You may as well. It's rough. Quad says, I'm not a fan of cream soda, I think because I just don't like it, and also because it was kind of pushed on me as a kid. See, cream soda is a thing that I would have occasionally, so this was not something that I had often. Cream soda is way too sweet. It's ridiculously sweet. And my understanding was that initially it was marketed as something that you would add to your root beer. So you would be mixing cream soda with root beer. And this is why you get the A&W cream soda and the A&W root beer. It was supposed to be mixed together. I, of course, do not drink root beer and therefore had no interest in mixing my perfectly fine cream soda with the terrible spawn of Satan that is, in fact, called root beer. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, since you like the root beer, you might give it a shot sometime. Just mix it together and see what you think. Put a little bit of, I don't remember if you're supposed to do like half and half, possibly. But anyway, try putting a little bit in and see what you think. I would not do that personally because root beer will ruin anything. It could be the best, like the best drink devised by man, and it would not matter because root beer would completely destroy it. But yeah, it's extremely sweet. Cream soda is, and so when I would drink it, I haven't had cream soda in a very long time. But when I would drink it, I would always put a lot of ice and then make it very, very cold. And then you just sip it. You don't you know, you don't go crazy with it. It's almost like a dessert drink, right? And so you know, take your time with it. Nurse it, you know? But I'm like that with certain things that I do better if it's cold with a lot of drinks. And I also, you know, I don't like super sugary things. Because partially I think because my mother was a type 1 diabetic, and so growing up we didn't have as much sugar in the house and as much sugary products in the house as I think a lot of people my age had. And so I never really got the same level of resistance to sugar. I never became used to having a great deal of sugar in things. Yeah. Frosting is just no. So what I do with frosting is I scrape that off, right? So if a cake has frosting, almost any frosting, honestly, the very first thing I do is scrape the frosting off. And then the cake itself is delicious. It's perfectly fine most of the time, as long as you don't have somebody who got real overzealous with the sugar. But for the most part, cake is perfectly fine. But the frosting is, you just can't eat it. It's impossible. So sweet. I know, again, another unpopular opinion there, but that's how it is. So I can't do something that's too sweet. And certainly cream soda is, unless you, like I said, you put a lot of ice and you drink it very cold and you drink it very slowly. And I would do that, I would say once every couple of years, probably, as a child. So like you could get it maybe when you're at a gas station getting a soda, from the soda fountain, something like that. But it was never a drink that I bought, and it was not something that we had in your house either. So. And that's true to an extent for basically any soda that I fill my cup completely with ice. And then it's not only cold, but also, once you pour your drink into it, it immediately has melted a lot of that ice. And you have a drink that's instantly more watered down than it was to start with. And I don't want it to be too watered down. Like, I'm not adding extra water to it, but certainly I don't like it if it is like from a can, because it's just too much. You love ice. Yeah. I also think it's even more specifically than being an American thing. It's kind of a Southern thing to be big on ice. I've heard that it used to be difficult to get ice in New York. I don't know if that's still true, but people have told me that in New York City, if you try to get ice, they, used to just look at you like you were a nutter, Some beverages, especially soft drinks, change dramatically when they're watered down with melted ice cubes. Yes. And the coldness is a factor as well. But I think as much as that, it's the the addition of the water to the drink. And my drink of choice, as far as soda is concerned, is Dr. Pepper. And I don't drink it. I basically don't drink it without ice. But that's the one that I prefer. Not a big Coke person. To me, Coke is ridiculously sweet. Pepsi's ridiculously sweet. I don't know. That's how I feel about it overall. Every once in a while, I'll have, and this is kind of weird, I'll have a Coke, and again, with a lot of ice, and vanilla. And I'm talking like once every few years, I'll get that. Like intentionally, If I don't, if there's nothing to drink besides sodas, and there's not Dr. Pepper, then I'll normally go with, if you've got just the traditional listings there, right? But you don't have Dr. Pepper. because the people who are servicing you are I don't know, something's very wrong with them. Then I might get a Pepsi. But again, I can't drink very much of it. It's ridiculously sweet to me. We got the scrying stone to work over here. We got green, blue, and soft blue.